You swing a leg over the Ducati Monster, and immediately you sense its intent. This is a naked bike born to fuse attitude with usability. It does not hide behind fairings. It wears its heart on its sleeve. Today you will ride in words through its design, engine, electronics, ride feel, strengths and trade-offs, and whether it truly earns its name. From the first glance, the Monster grabs you. The trellis frame is exposed, the fuel tank bold and curved, the tail minimal. The proportions are muscular yet compact. That round headlamp is classic and timeless. Side components blend functionality and styling. Radiator shrouds, sculpted air intakes, exposed trellis tubes. There is purity in the concept. Less cover, more character. The entire silhouette suggests that nothing is superfluous. Under the skin, the modern monster you might talk about is the model with a 937 cubic centimeters Testastretta V-twin engine. It produces about 111 horsepower, around 9,250 revolutions per minute, and torque of roughly 93 Newton-meters at 6,500 revolutions per minute. The engine is liquid-cooled, with 4 valves per cylinder, and a ride-by-wire throttle system. It carries the heritage of Ducati's twin designs, but in a more refined, contemporary package. A 6-speed gearbox with quick shift up and down lets you hustle through gears without feeling left behind. The Monster carries its engine as a stress member, integrating it into the chassis for compactness and stiffness. Suspension up front is with adjustable inverted forks, and at the rear there is a shock that allows preload and rebound adjustments. Brakes are serious. Twin front discs gripped by Brembo calipers. Cornering ABS always at work. Wheels are standard sizes. Tires that balance grip and everyday usability. Seat height is moderate, around 820 millimeters, which is reachable for many riders, and wet weight is in the ballpark of 179 kilograms. These figures give it an accessible feel while still promising performance. Electronics are a major part of the package now. You get multiple riding modes, urban, touring, sport, each altering throttle behavior, ABS intervention, and traction control sensitivity. There is cornering ABS and Ducati traction control, wheelie control, and a dash display that shows gear position, ride mode, and more. These features allow the Monster to adapt to daily commuting, twisty canyon runs, or highway stints with relative confidence. On the road, the Monster feels alive. At low RPM, the motor is smooth, helpful, and manageable in tight traffic. But as you open it up, the power builds cleanly. You feel the mid-range torque kick in, and by the time you're high in the rev range, it doesn't feel flat. The quick shifter helps maintain momentum. The frame and geometry balance stability and agility. In twisty sections, the bike leans in confidently. You sense a connection. The Monster feels like an extension of your intent on throttle, brake, and body weight. The ergonomics are somewhat upright. The bars are wide, giving leverage in turns and control in traffic. The foot pegs are not extreme. They allow some room for movement without forcing you into a rigid posture. On longer rides, the seat may demand relief after a couple of hours, and at high speeds, wind blast is felt because there is no big fairing. But for what it is, the trade is reasonable. Exposure, visceral feel, and emotional feedback. The exhaust note is part of the charm. It is not overly loud or wild, but it carries a growl, a Ducati voice. You hear it, feel it in the chassis, in the ride. That sound becomes part of the experience rather than an annoyance. Heat from the engine is controlled well. Even in denser traffic, the bike manages without becoming oppressive. Where the Monster excels is in versatility. It is happy in city traffic, daring on secondary roads, able on highway stretches. It is less suited for full touring with heavy luggage or long sustained high speeds, but it can accommodate moderate travel. Fuel efficiency is decent for its class. Maintenance intervals are manageable. The trellis frame is accessible for servicing. Parts and support exist in many markets given Monster's popular lineage. Naturally, it has trade-offs. For very tall riders, the mid-size frame might feel a bit snug in legroom. In high-speed extremes, the aerodynamics leave you exposed. Suspension travel is limited compared to adventure or sport touring bikes, so very rough roads will rattle you. Some riders may wish for even more electronic sophistication, semi-active suspension, more modes, more adjustability, but Ducati has struck balance rather than excess. In spirited riding, the Monster is rewarding. It challenges you but also forgives. It lets you experience the essence of naked bike riding: sensitivity, immediacy, connection. It is not about smashing lap records. It is about moments, presence, grace under power. It calls to those who ride with their senses. If you want a motorcycle that is emotional as much as it is functional, that feels alive in your hands rather than hidden behind plastics, then the Monster is an excellent choice. It remembers that a bike is more than numbers. It rekindles why we ride, for feel, for presence, for the dance of man and machine. At the end of a ride, you hop off, take one last glance, and understand what the name means. The Monster has lived up to its identity. It is a modern naked icon with soul.